Hey all, so this is Elizabeth Off Grid, and I wanted to do a challenge for myself to not eat out, not eat fast food or eat out for the next week. So today is a Thursday, so to go all the way at least till next Wednesday or longer. But the idea is to not do any takeout. I've been eating way too much takeout, mostly because it was really hot. And before that I had a migraine and I just kind of needed a little help. So here are the rules to this challenge for myself. Number one, no, fast food takeout restaurants. Number two, I can get prepared food from the grocery store, like a salad that's already made. That does not count as takeout under this. Those are actually not very expensive at all. And part of this is about health and eating food that's healthy, and part of this not fried and blah blah blah, and then part of this is about saving money. So those are actually fairly cost effective depending upon the grocery store and the salad, so that's totally fine. Rule number three is if I'm with another person and like someone's taking me out, then I will still go out. I'm not going to not socialize. However, I'm not going to get takeout. So that's really the whole idea here. So this morning I had my protein bars and my iced tea. I was going to show it to you, but I already put it away. My iced tea for breakfast. And then I'm going to be making hot meal in an hour or two. I don't know what time it is right now. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do the rest of the day yet, which is actually part of the problem with all this stuff, but I have stuff. So I can make a tuna fish sandwich. I have the stuff for that. And then I can get a prepared salad later, etc. I'm also going to include Whole Foods salad bar, the cold salad bar, because that kind of comes under prepared salads. You just assemble yourself, but not like getting a slice of pizza there, or you know what I mean? Like any of that kind of stuff. There's absolutely nothing wrong with going out to eat, but I've been doing it too much, and I want to kind of like flip back to being mostly eating food that I make myself and then just a little bit of takeout instead of mostly takeout and then just a little bit of food I ate myself. I actually have a lot of points on my McDonald's app, which is a very big problem because that means I ate a lot of McDonald's. So McDonald's is the thing that's close, the restaurant that's the closest to the library, and it's super cheap and has an app so you can order it and pick it up, and it makes it super easy, but not a good idea. So that's the plan for the next week. The only exception is if I get a migraine or sick or something like that, then I will stop the challenge and then restart it at another time, but knock on leather, hopefully that won't happen. So let's go and see. This is a really easy meal. We got the Trader Joe's Indian food, and then some broccoli to really bulk it up, and that's with sriracha powder on it. This is 2 servings per container, but I'm going to eat both servings. It's 300 calories for the entire thing with 35 grams of carbs and 13 grams of protein, so it's a very solid meal. And this actually tastes pretty good, And then adding in the broccoli really ups the veggie count, obviously, and also the bulk of the meal, and so it's very, very satisfying. So I'm just going to saute this for a while, and once the broccoli is cooked a bit, then I'll put in the rest. So I am still going through the storage unit, the 5x10, to organize it. Right now I'm just putting like with like. So camping stuff with camping stuff, cooking stuff with cooking stuff, etc. I already have the kind of daily use things all together, like meds and toiletries and supplies and all that kind of stuff. I already have the camera stuff all together, the filming things all together. I already have the electronics together. So I'm just trying to gather stuff together as I go back. Once I have everything with its own stuff, then I'll go through everything in that category and pull out the stuff that I'm not going to actually use, and also reorganize it and put it away in a much better way, because right now it is horribly inefficient. So I'm sure I'll be able to create tons of space, and even just like this shelf here, like obviously something else could go on the shelf. When I put things away, it was very chaotic. So it'll be much better once I get through everything. Hey y'all, so for dinner tonight I had a salad that was from Safeway, and as I said, part of my rule for this challenge is a salad from a grocery store that's pre-made is totally fine as part of this. I also got a few other things when I was there at Safeway. I got some tuna and chicken packets, and the tuna fish was on sale, and I also got some protein bars. When last time I was there, I don't know if you remember, but they redid how everything was organized at the Safeway, it makes me crazy. I am so unhappy with it. So ridiculous. Anyway, I couldn't find the bars. They were out of the ones I wanted. So anyway, I got some of those bars. I do some time in the next couple days want to go to Trader Joe's, get their bars, and also get some vegetables and some other things from Trader Joe's. But I think I'll probably do that either late tomorrow or on Saturday, depending upon when I go up to the city. So far it's going really well. And now that I'm actually like challenging myself to not eat takeout, I know how to do this. I've already figured it out. So it's not a big deal at all. If it was 100 degrees or if I had a migraine, that would be a little bit different, but I'm doing okay right now. Knock on plastic. So hopefully this will keep going on like that. So tomorrow, what I'm planning to do is I still have broccoli left, and I have rice and I have peanuts, so I can make a nice stir fry as my hot meal. For breakfast, I'll have my normal bars and iced tea. I might have like a chicken salad sandwich because I still have bread and I bought some packet chicken, and then I'll get another takeout salad. Now, if I go to the city, it'll be a little bit different. I haven't really figured out what I'm going to do with going to the city. I'll probably bring some bars with me, and then I'll probably also have a meal with my son, most likely. That's another exception, is if I'm out with another person, which I specifically did for me going to the city. Maybe we'll actually just have dinner at my son's place, but I'm kind of leaving that out there as a potential addition to this challenge to myself. Hey y'all, so for making my own food today, for this morning's late breakfast, early lunch, I'm having my typical broccoli with peanuts and rice, and then sriracha powder and soy sauce. So very simple, very easy hot meal. Nice, very filling, nice and spicy. For breakfast, I had bars like I usually do. I'm planning to have a sandwich later this afternoon, and then for dinner get a salad again. That seems to work out pretty well as kind of a daily routine. So either I'll get a salad again or I'll just have snacks. It really just depends on what ends up going today. I thought I might go to the city today, but I'm not. I'm going to go over the weekend, most likely. The thing that I'm dealing with today is actually figuring out how to fix my ecoflow River 2 battery. I'm really not happy with it. Really not happy with it. I didn't realize how much you had to baby these things. And the thing is, if I had realized it, then I would have, but I didn't know. So here's the thing, is that your phone and other lithium batteries like that, you don't really have to baby them. And when I say baby them, what I mean is, it used to be that rechargeable batteries, you have to always charge it up to 100% and discharge it to a 0%, or it would like memorize an in-between thing, and then it would only charge this much as opposed to the full thing. So I assumed that the lithium batteries, these power station batteries, were like that, because that doesn't exist anymore now with like my phone and stuff, that you don't have to baby them that way anymore. But the answer is you actually do, because the battery management software will not be able to understand what is 0% and 100% and all the percentages in the middle, and it will completely lose calibration. So then you have to recalibrate it. I'm really unhappy with ecoflow's customer service, because the thing is, they needed to tell me all the things I need to do. They need to say, okay, first you need to update the firmware, then you need to redo then you need to reset it, then you need to do the calibration. Like, they need to go through all the things. And what happens is, I do one of the things, then I go test it over a couple of days, and then it doesn't work. I go back to, this is like taking freaking weeks. I've been dealing with this problem for over a month. So I decided I'm not going back to their customer service because they're just incredibly tedious. And I went to Reddit, which is where I should have gone in the beginning. Their customer service actually is on Reddit, but also people are posting what works. So I'm following a combination of what the customer service people did, but as well as what Reddit people are saying. Specifically, the Reddit people actually go through all the things you need to do in one post, as opposed to giving it to me in pieces. And when it doesn't work, like, you need to do all the things. You can't just do one of them. One of them won't work. You have to do all of the things. So the firmware is updated on this. Now I'm charging up to 100%. Then I'm going to reset it. And I actually think the customer service guy told me the wrong way to reset it, and I think it didn't reset. So I'm going to reset it, and then I'm going to let it sit overnight without using it, because apparently that does something. I don't know if it does, but there's no reason to not try it. Then if it's not at 100%, charge up to 100% and, fully discharge it, fully upcharge it. Apparently you have to fully charge to 100% and discharge it to 0% 3 times to get it to completely recalibrate, and you're supposed to do that every 3 months. If you're supposed to do something every 3 months, they should tell you that. Like in the manual, in the very beginning, it should say, okay, here's a procedure you need to do every 3 months or every 40 partial discharge cycles. Now, for the record, I don't think I've done 40 partial cycles, and it definitely hasn't been 3 months. So I'm really unhappy with this battery because of that. However, I'm willing to see if I can get it to work based upon this new paradigm. The thing is, if there's a way you're supposed to manage a battery, you need to be telling people that ahead of time, like in the paperwork when they get it. It says nothing about that. You know, I've never heard of that before. And I think that that's terrible. I'm assuming it's because they think that people, I don't actually know, won't use it that often, but I'm very unhappy. So I'm going to see though if I can get this to work so I don't have to buy a new battery, because I don't want to spend another couple $100. But if I can't get this to work, I will, and then I will post a review of how this sucks. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and eat my food later. Yeah, so I'm sitting in my car with the engine running, charging up this battery to try to get it to full charge, actual full charge. The big lesson that I am taking away from this is that I need to just go on Reddit and go into the community on Reddit and get what you have to do. It is very inconvenient. I'm supposed to do these 3 cycle through things to reset it every 3 months. It's more like I get my freaking oil changed. Help. But I'm not going to be discharging it until tomorrow. So I'll run my CPAP off my big battery. I think once this gets to 100 and is no longer charging, both of those things, then I'm going to turn it off and leave it off. And then I'm going to go over to my storage and work on that. So I think I know what the problem might be with this battery, is that it has been at 99% in 5 minutes for 17 minutes right now. So I think what it is that the 100% is not calibrated right. So if then the 100% isn't calibrated right, then of course nothing else is going to be calibrated. And it may be that I wasn't charging it up to 100%. I actually just don't remember. Maybe I was just, getting it up. Oh, 99 is good enough. 99 ain't good enough. 99 is not good enough. Yeah, so I think that may need to be a new procedure that I use, which is I always charge to 100% before I start discharging. Okay, I have made some progress on the storage unit. I know it may not look like it, but you can see here, this shelf just has empty boxes on it. And this shelf is just bags of clothes. And then back there is a big pile of blankets. I'm going to, as a subscriber actually suggested, well, I don't know if there's a subscriber, a commenter has at least suggested, I'm going to use vacuum seal things to seal that up. So the off-season clothes and the blankets and sheets and all that stuff will be a fraction of the amount of space, probably all fitting inside that hamper. So then I am just going to work on a little bit more consolidation with some of this other stuff, but fundamentally I freed up 2 shelves, and that's what was my goal, was to move stuff in here. Now I will want to reorganize everything before I put stuff in here from the 10x10, because I want the 10x10 stuff to probably, most of it to go in the back. However, there's space, because these 2 shelf tops are completely empty. Now I can obviously get taller shelves to go on this side, and then I'll have 4 more shelves, right? Besides these 2 shelves. But that's another step that I'm not doing right now. I'm not gonna spend more money on that right this second. First, I need to go through this stuff in the 10x10. But the cool part is I will have space for that. So my vacuum seal bags aren't coming until next week. So I'm not gonna worry about that until then. I am gonna focus now on other stuff. Specifically, I'll be focusing on my editing content for my legal channel, because I have 7, I think, more videos to edit, some of which are kind of longer videos with multiple cameras, so they take a little bit more time. But yeah, I'm really happy with the progress I've made. I found a whole bunch of stuff that was missing because it was like not with the stuff it's supposed to be. So I'm really happy about that. So I can access now. This is my solar oven, this down here is my Coleman stove. So all my things that are like really important, and as well as my regular camping stuff, that's all easily accessible. And my meds are up here, extra, trash bags and paper towels and
tissue, you know, all these things that I need to access. I need to do my blood pressure again soon. I need to do that soon. So yeah, I'm feeling really good about where I'm at with the storage. I also am very happy with this lighting right here. This is the best lighting that I have. Any place that I shoot video for this channel is the storage room hallway. This is the best lighting. Now, my next meeting is gonna be editing, and then I'll come back and work on the 10 by 10 again. And now, because now I have somewhere to put that stuff. I already have one box to go in here. Then everything else is just in small amounts. Ooh, I have my fridge that I can put in here. Okay, looking at this, I'm thinking what I need to do is put things in categories. So there's some things that are already stuff that I've decided to keep, things that need to be shredded, electronics, recycling. This is stuff that I'm gonna keep. And then there's all kinds of stuff that I know I'm gonna get rid of. So what I'm thinking is I need to put like with like. It's hard because there's not a huge amount of room in here. Okay, this is supposed to be climate controlled here. It is so hot, and it is not me having a hot flash. It's just hot in here. I'm on the second floor. I'm very glad my new storage room is on the first floor just to avoid the heat.
Hey y'all, so I'm having a sandwich for dinner. I had a salad for lunch. I got Whole Foods salad bar for lunch, and I switched that around because I wanted my lunch meat that's in my significant other's fridge. and they were busy, they were working, and so I couldn't go there until a little later. So I'm gonna have my sandwich here. I'm in a parking lot, and then I'm actually gonna go pick up an Amazon package, which is a fan that will fit into my purse. I'm so excited to have that fan for when I'm in the library, or tomorrow I'm gonna be traveling by a train to go see my son. So that's really fun, and also get my mail, because that's where my mail goes to. And then I'll go to a different parking. I also have to figure out somewhere to go to the bathroom, because I didn't go to the park today. So I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom somewhere, maybe some random store. I haven't figured that out yet. But otherwise, this is gonna be my last thing to eat. So good morning, everybody. Today I am going to be going to a different part of the San Francisco Bay Area where my son lives. I'm actually going to drive most of the way and then park at a public transportation parking lot, and then take public transportation to where they actually live. I think that will work out better, so my car is in a spot. But a couple of things I'm going to be doing to facilitate that. First is the main thing is I'm going to be going to my storage unit, and I'm going to be putting my like laptop and that kind of stuff in my storage unit, and then exchange over my backpack to be like stuff that I want during the day when I'm going to be hanging out with my son. I'm going to have, you know, my battery pack to charge my phone, and, you know, this kind of stuff. My other headphones, these are my wired headphones that are from my laptop, and I'm going to have my headphones that are Bluetooth that can go with my laptop. Things like that, stuff for me to do and have with me. And I also have to have my backpack with me because I'm picking up my mail. It's part of what I'm doing when I go to see my son, but I'm also just going to go see my son and see the cat and this kind of stuff, which is great. Now, one thing that I'm not quite sure how it's going to work is doing my challenge. So I had my bars like I normally do for breakfast when I'm in town. I have lunch meat that has an ice pack with it because it was in my significant other's fridge, and they gave me also an ice pack so I could keep it for today. So I ate a sandwich yesterday, and it has one more lunch meat worth of sandwich that I can have today. So I'm trying to decide exactly how I'm going to play that, because it needs to be eaten today because the ice pack's going to run out. You know, am I going to make a hot meal this morning, or am I going to have the sandwich? Knowing that I'm going to have at least one meal with my son, and I don't know if we're going to do it. My son will cook me a meal, which I would actually very much enjoy, but they might not be in the mood for that, and we might go out to eat. And that is part of one of my exception to the challenge, is if I'm going out to eat with another person, because it's kind of a special thing. I actually haven't seen my son in person for a while. I have seen them down here because they've come down to visit friends, and we've like said hi or whatever. The last time I was actually visiting them was in June, and it is August right now, so it's been probably almost 2 months since I've gone up there, and I haven't seen the cat in person. Now, my son and I actually talk on FaceTime, probably not every day, I would say 5 days a week, something like that. So I feel very connected, and I feel like to my son and to the cat, and, you know, just that space that they live in, but it's nothing like seeing someone in person, right? So I'm not quite sure how that's going to work out. I will take a couple bars and stuff with me for snacks, but since I'm going to be driving most of the way there, then I will be back at my car once I get car and I can, you know, get snacks or whatever for dinner. And then I will drive back to this part of town to sleep most likely, because I know it better and I know where to sleep. I could totally sleep up there in theory, but it is much harder in that part of town just because it is less parking and more competition for parking than there is down here, because this is more of a suburbia-ish place than a city kind of a place, a true city. San Jose is a city, don't get me wrong, it has 1 million people, but it is very small amount of it is very city. So as far as like what I'm doing this weekend, one thing that I'm doing this weekend is going to see my son, which is awesome. That's the highest priority. Another thing that I'm doing this weekend is doing a live stream for the channel because I hit 1,000 subscribers. It's kind of a celebratory live stream. I actually thought about doing it yesterday because I literally hit the 1,000 subscribers yesterday, but the live stream wasn't set up because you don't get to do live streams, I guess, until you have 1,000 subscribers maybe. So yeah, I didn't have access to it yet. So I'm thinking I'm going to do it tomorrow because today I'm going to go visit my son. And then the other thing I'm doing this weekend is working on editing my videos for my other channel. So I filmed 8 or 9 videos total when I was staying in a hotel room, and I edited 2 of them and they're uploaded and scheduled out. And so I have the rest of the videos to edit. There's a whole bunch of them that actually will be very fast edits because they're 1 camera videos. And I'm just like sitting there talking about something. So I just need to edit out all the weird pauses and weirdness things, you know, and that's a very fast edit. And the videos are also fairly short, you know, I don't know, 5-10 minute videos. So they do not take very long to edit at all for that kind of a video. Then I have a bunch of longer videos to edit. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do now is I'm driving to the park. It's not even 8 a.m. yet. And I'm going to edit some video. I won't upload it when I'm at the park. I'll upload it when I get to the library, which might not be today. It might be on another day. We'll see how today goes this morning. I don't actually have to leave this part of town until noon, but I might go earlier if I'm like finished with what I'm doing, because then I could go do stuff there. Even if my son's busy, because my son's busy this morning, I could go do things there and walk around and look at stuff and enjoy my time in there, right? Right. So right now though, I'm going to the park, number 1, so I can go to the bathroom, and then also just to kind of regroup. I'm very happy with my new storage place because I really like the 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. hours. And I like how there's at my building, there's like, I don't know, 8 or 9 buildings, something like that. And at my building, there actually are parking spaces. There's just 2 parking spaces. They're very wide though. It totally was easy to fit a U-Haul in it when I did that. And I have only had 1 time where they were full. Like every other time they had nobody else was there at all. So now I usually go during the week, which is one of the reasons. The only time they were full was on a weekend. So it makes it really easy for me. So I don't have to like park in front of someone's unit or anything. I mean, I totally could. There's other places you can just kind of park, but like, I really like being in a parking space, especially when I'm going there and spending a bunch of time to organize things. It also is, since I'm on the first floor, it just doesn't get very hot in there. And I think it is climate controlled. My 10 by 10, like I was saying on that other video I recorded, it was oppressively hot in there. I mean, the weird thing is, it was a nice day. It was in the high 70s outside. And yet in that storage unit on the 2nd floor, it must have been in the 90s because I was sweating just standing there, and it wasn't a hot flash. It was actually because of how hot it was. So weird. And it's supposed to be climate controlled. I don't think it is. So anyway, I am very glad about the new storage unit. And it's becoming, and now that it's more organized, it's a very useful tool for me. And I know some people have like talked about, oh, you know, they can get burglarized. Well, so can my car. So can your house. So can your garage. So can your apartment. Obviously, storage units get broken into sometimes. And even inside ones can get broken into. But there's hundreds of storage units there. So even if someone comes in to break into storage units, the statistic likelihood that they will pick mine is fairly low, unless they have some reason to know that there's stuff in there. It's much more likely they're going to break into one of the units that has tools. So there's a whole bunch of units that people who have like construction-ish related businesses come, and they have all their tools there, and they come and they get stuff out every day. Those are the ones you break into. Tools will be really easy to unload on eBay or whatever. The stuff in my unit, I mean, could someone rob it? Sure, of course, someone could. But there's very few things in there that actually are of value at all. So I think the actual thing that is more likely is the place burns up. There's a storage unit in town, in a different part of town than where my unit is, and it's public storage, which I feel like is, I don't know, they just seem not quite as nice, but I don't know if that's actually true. Someone was keeping fireworks in there, and so the place literally blew up and burned to the ground. So I think that's actually the more likely thing to happen. Now, something that is also a big danger is having your U-Haul robbed. And this is something that I haven't figured out how I'm going to actually problem solve. So I'm planning that over the long term, like in a couple years, I will relocate all my stuff to New Mexico, because I own raw land in New Mexico. I might build on it, but at least I'm going to camp on it, and relocate my residency and like all of those things to New Mexico. But not right now, because it's just too much going on. I'm not dealing with that right now. But in part of that, I will load up all that stuff on that U-Haul and put it into a storage room in New Mexico. The thing is that there's a big likelihood of that U-Haul getting robbed. Now, what I'm probably going to do is sleep in it. I'm thinking I'm going to rent just a U-Haul van, but I actually don't know. I might end up renting a U-Haul, like the smallest truck. So the vans you can't run one way, as far as I know. It's like when I tried to like put it in the little system, it wouldn't let me rent it one way. You could only rent it there and back, so I'd have to drive it back. But if I rented a U-Haul truck, I could leave my car or whatever vehicle I'm driving here, and then somewhere, I don't know where, and then maybe I'll put it in long-term parking at the airport or something like that, so it's kind of in a safe location. I wouldn't leave valuables in it. And then rent a U-Haul, like the smallest U-Haul truck they have. Because the thing is, the van, when I was driving it this past week, I think that driving their smallest truck wouldn't be that much different, because the van, I mean, the kind of visibility you have, the difficulties of driving it and how tall it is, and you have to think about like all that stuff isn't significantly different, I don't think, than driving their smallest truck. So I'm thinking the smallest truck might be a lot easier, and then I for sure will get everything in it, and it might be tall enough that I don't have to disassemble the shelves, which would be kind of nice, but it might be easier to assemble the shelves. Anyway, and then take everything, in one load out there. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was not comfortable driving that van, but I was able to do it. I'm also nervous about literally driving any, U-Haul thing that far across the country. The other option is, if I had already bought a new vehicle, I could rent a trailer. But the thing is, I'm more nervous about pulling a trailer than I am about driving a U-Haul. I think driving a U-Haul is easier than a trailer. Trailer would be cheaper. Okay, well, I'm going to let you go. Like we're talking on the phone. I don't know when I said that. So I'm about ready to get to the park, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye. What are these people doing? Standing all around the parking lot? So weird. Hey y'all, so I want to give you an update on the battery situation. So I did some research yesterday on other options for batteries. Obviously there's tons of different companies that have batteries, tons of different features. And then I did research on what do people think of those batteries. Obviously there's people who have good experiences with every kind of battery that there is, but there's also people who have bad experiences. A lot of it depends upon your use case, and sometimes it's just lucky on whether or not you get a good one. I am not convinced that there's any company that's significantly a standout in the field for having the best quality, having the best software that runs the battery, having the best customer service. It seems like in this industry of these power stations, they're trying to come out with new stuff all the time because they're in competition with each other, right? So they don't really have time to perfect anything. They ship stuff without even updating the firmware. So you have to update the firmware as soon as you get it. And then they all have troubles. It's just different troubles. You know, they say, oh, we have a 2-year warranty, we have a 5-year warranty, whatever. But the thing is, to get them to do anything about it, you know, it is a big thing. And also, what they consider to be a problem, you know, the thing is, I had no idea that there was going to be memory inside these batteries, because that's not how lithium batteries work from a chemical perspective. Like old batteries actually have a memory from a chemical perspective. However, the software they use has a memory in a way. The set points become skewed and uncalibrated because only 0 and 100% is true. And the way the lithium battery curve works, it's non-linear. There is totally a software way you could change that. And you know that because cars are not like that, and they have lithium batteries because they put different set points in it to compensate for this issue. But these power stations don't have that kind of software because they're not spending money on drafting that kind of code. So, I mean, anyway, that's me as a computer person being upset about someone being not making good code. But that means that every couple of months, you're going to have to recalibrate everything, which is a house is a bit of a hassle, and then living in a car is a gigantic hassle. So my current plan is to try to see if I can get this battery to work. If I can figure out the little tweaks it needs so it can work correctly for my CPAP. If not, then I will get a new battery. I don't know who from, because researching them all, they all have their own problems. Everybody has their own problems. Or they don't have the features that I want. So... Hey y'all, so I just went and saw my son and we got to hang out. I got to see the cat. I got my mail. We had a nice meal together, so it was lovely. One of the funny things though about going to see somebody and then coming back is, so I actually took public transportation. I parked my car in a parking garage on the edge, you know, and to public transportation, a bus and a train, actually a train and then a bus, to get to them. And now I'm back in my car. I still am about 45 minutes away from where I typically sleep. I actually am going to go back there for a number of reasons, partially just because I know the area and I'm not in the mood to find somewhere to sleep up here. That is not what I'm up for right now. I'd want to research that a lot more. It's harder up here because it's just, parking is much more tight in this part of town. But I'm already home, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in my space. So there's something really nice about that I'm already immediately home. So I don't actually have to go back to my storage room to get my laptop and stuff today. I don't need it. I don't have to have it tonight. I can get that tomorrow morning after 8 when it opens tomorrow on Sunday, because it's open 8 to 8 every day. It doesn't have weird hours on Sunday or anything. I can drive all the way down to like the park or go to a different park along the way. I do think though that I'm going to spend the night in the same place I usually do, just to make it easy on myself in that way. Yeah, I know it's really dark, but I don't want to draw attention to myself. So I'm in a different parking lot, and this is a place where this shopping center itself is open until 9, but there's stores that are open until 10. And I really came here because I needed to go to the bathroom, and where I usually the bathroom wasn't available right then. But I'm looking for other places to park and have kind of places to hang out before I go to bed, especially as we're, you know, ending the summer and we're going to be going into fall. And so as time goes on, it'll be dark and parks will be closed, which is one of the places that I hang out. Now the library is open. The library right by here is open until 6. There are other libraries that are open much later, but I wanted places that are kind of in this part of town. And I don't want to be going to the bathroom in the same place every night because that just gets obvious. So there's a Home Depot that actually has the nicest bathroom around here. And that's one of the places I've gone. There's a Target. There's this shopping center. So I want to try to collect a number of different places so I can rotate through them. Places that have bathrooms where no one's caring that you're using them. Now, I would not try to sleep in this parking lot because there's security. Like I actually saw security driving around, and that's and they have signs about don't loiter. They not only can you not overnight camp here, but you can't loiter here. No one seems to care that anyone's parked here during the day or during business hours, but I wouldn't try to park here at night because I actually saw the security driving around as well as seeing signs about the security. The good thing about having security is I feel actually like there's the fact that there's security means that if something happened, security can be the one calling the cops. You know what I mean? So that actually I think helps a little bit from a safety perspective for when I actually am here. So it worked well using the restroom. To use the restroom at the shopping center, I actually have to walk in and walk kind of all the way around. It's not like right at the door, which is totally fine. It wasn't that nice. The Home Depot has a much nicer restroom. I think it might have been nicer than the Target. The Target one can be a mess. It was partly a mess, but not too bad. I did end up brushing my teeth in the car though, because I really haven't gotten the guts to go into a store type restroom and brush my teeth. Like I'm fine brushing my teeth at a park. I don't know, for some reason that doesn't bother me, but I feel weird about doing it in a store. We'll see if I get to the point where I don't care. There are a lot of things that I'm still trying to get to the point of not caring about. That's 3 places that it's really close to here that I can go to the restroom. I'd really like to have like an entire week worth of places. You know what I mean? And I want places that are open until 9 o'clock. If I can go to the bathroom around 8 p.m. or so, between 8 and 8:30, that's like the perfect amount of time for me because I'm good then until the morning, until I go to Planet Fitness to take a shower. So that's my goal. So I'm going to start trying to collect. I think there's also an REI around here. I think REI is open until 9. So that would be another place. So that's what I mean is like trying to collect a bunch of places I can go where I don't need to pry anything and it's a big enough box store that it wouldn't be awkward. So yeah, just going to give you an update on how it's going with my personal challenge to not eat any takeout. So yesterday had mostly my normal things, a sandwich, bars, etc. I went to a different part of the San Francisco Bay Area where my son lives, and we did go out to eat, but that's part of the exception to this challenge for myself is, you know, eating out on a special occasion with another person. We went to this place, it's across the street from their building, and it's so good. We've been there many times. I got this chicken parmesan sandwich. Oh, so good. So good. The kind of thing I'm not going to make in a car. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to eat chicken parmesan because I'm not saying you couldn't do that. I might be able to do that in my solar oven. I don't know, which I haven't even tried yet. That's a whole nother thing. But that's a bit much, right? It was so good. My son got a burger and I got to hang out with the cat, all that kind of stuff. So that was lovely, lovely day. Came back and I ended up eating a couple bars because I just couldn't deal with, it was a lot of driving and a long day. So today is a Sunday. I actually ended up sleeping in until like 6:15 a.m., which I know for most people is not sleeping in, but for me, it's very much sleeping in. It was like light when I woke up. Totally weird. So it is almost 8 o'clock. I'm going to have a couple bars. So this is one of my normal bars. These Zone Perfect bars I got. I don't know if I'd buy them again. It's brownie batter cookie dough, it does not taste like, it tastes like a brownie, but a weird brownie, I'm not saying I would never buy these again just because I might buy them like in a year, you know what I mean? Just to add variety, but they wouldn't be in my regular rotation, where these I are. And the reason is because this, the ingredients to this is, peanuts. And then of course you have like weird things like soy protein isolate, and stuff. But then because it has like peanuts as the number 1 ingredient, and then it has like rice pieces, it really tastes like actual food, like actual things, where this is like incredibly processed. The first ingredient is brown rice syrup, and then the second one is sodium caseinate. I don't even know what sodium caseinate is. So that's number 2 ingredient. Wow, right? So anyway, I'm having my normal iced tea. Oh, and then someone told me, my significant other told me, since these have really strong walls, I'm going to save these and they will go towards my future project of freezing water in a freezer and using that in the cooler. Like I am going to try that out, but I might not try that for a while because I need to be able to have my electrical system stable, and it is not stable right now. So I did use my battery last night for my CPAP, my medium-sized battery that I've been troubleshooting, and it worked fine, but it always works fine the first night. So we're gonna see, it's down to like 82, I think, %. So we're gonna see what it does in night 2 and 3 and see if they can kind of use it more normal use. On paper, so if one night uses 18%, on paper, it should go for 5 nights. I'm not really expecting that because at the very end, it might not use the same amount of power. It also depends on how many hours I sleep. So I'm thinking 4 nights. And that's what I would really like. I'd really like to have a battery doing my CPAP where I don't have to recharge it every day. Because if I have a day when I'm traveling where I'm in a location and I'm not driving the car, so I can't use the car to recharge it, and there's no sun out, it's okay. I have a couple of days, you know, especially thinking about traveling to like the Pacific Northwest and places that are just very forested where you don't have any sun, you know. So that's the idea. So today I'm planning to go work at my storage place, but I want to work on it in the mornings because it's cooler. And I also want to cook food, but most likely I'll be cooking later in the day because I'm eating now and it's like 8 o'clock. So I'm not going to need to eat again at like 9, you know. It'll be more like actual lunchtime, noon lunchtime. I do have broccoli in there. I have to check and see if it's still good. It did have an ice pack for a while. So right now, today is Sunday, and Friday was the day 2 days ago that this channel was monetized. Now, by the time you're watching this video, I record my videos and post them like weeks ahead of time, so it will have been monetized for weeks. But it was monetized, and actually the ads got turned on because I have more than 1,000 subscribers. Yay! So it's really surprising to have things happen this fast. So I'm really happy about that. Today, I'm also going to be doing a live stream. I haven't figured out where I'm going to do it at. Maybe at a park, maybe at the library, because then I could use the internet, but then there's other people around. All right, I'm going to get going and eat some breakfast. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Hey y'all, so I just went to Target, partially to just go to the bathroom, but also to pick up a few things. I got Lactaid, which I needed. It's been on my list for a couple of days. Also got this, which is a terrible idea, but I can actually eat stuff like this. It is 15 grams of carbs per serving of 11 chips. So the secret is with things like this is to not eat out of the bag, to get some out. That is a serving. So I don't go over my carbs because I have diabetes, for those of you who don't know. So also I got some Lipton. This is cold. It says it's cold brew. Okay. I don't know if that's just a scam to charge more money or if it actually does something different. But that's my idea for iced tea. Because right now I've been buying these, these are not that expensive compared to coffee, but it's still, you're paying for the plastic and you have all these plastic bottles, and that's not very helpful. So I was planning to make kind of a cold brew where I put the tea bags in and leave it overnight. And this is actually made for that. Maybe it's exactly the same as the regular ones. I don't know. And now one thing that is in here, it has 22 family size tea bags. So you're supposed to use, let's see, what does the instructions say? 8 cups of water for 2 tea bags. So 1 tea bag for 4 cups of water. I will probably use 1 tea bag for 2 cups of water, which will make a nice stronger tea. We'll see. It says for a strong, smooth flavor, brew in your fridge overnight. Actually, the instructions are only 5 minutes. I'm like, 5 minutes with cold water ain't not going to make you good tea, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm imagining that what they do is they grind it up into smaller pieces, which is not necessarily good, but Lipton is so cheap. And I actually grew up on Lipton, like the kind that you scoop in and you just pour it in, So I'm going to see how this is. It has a fairly low caffeine level, 6 to 30 milligrams, but my thought is I'd actually be brewing it stronger than this. So it'd probably be double, and it's a cold brew. It'll probably be like way more than that. So I don't know how you can't actually measure the caffeine level of something that you make yourself. I also got these tuna packets. These are like the Target brand, Good and Gather, which it's such a weird name. And they reduced the price. It used to be $1.59. Now it's $1.29. So I got a couple of these because I'll always use tuna packets. And I got something else. Oh, and I also got some M&Ms. So M&Ms are a candy. So this is 3 servings. That's the thing. This is a sharing size. So I can't eat this whole thing. But 1/3 of this is 18 grams of carbs. And it actually is 3 grams of protein because you're eating peanuts. you know. So this is like a candy that I can eat, but the big thing is, just like the chips, I have to watch how much I eat. I have to make sure I only eat a third of this, not the whole thing, because if I eat the whole thing, it's an entire dinner worth of carbs. And since it's only, well, actually it's enough calories where I actually would substitute out the right amount of calories and carbs for a meal, but I don't think that's I don't think that's a good dinner unless I'm desperate. All right, so I'm going to go to my storage unit and see how hot it is at 8 or 9 or whatever time it is in the morning. So this time I'm going to be wearing a mask with the valve so I can not get horrible allergies from the dust in this room of things that I've had for more than 10 years. Hey y'all, so just went to Trader Joe's. The JoJo cookies are here. They're in a different package. I hope they taste the same or I'll be really upset. I also got a bunch of things that I just normally get, you know, these packets, my bars, and then I needed to get some things like I needed peanuts and I needed oil. I get grapeseed oil because this can be used at any temperature. Well, maybe not any temperature, the whole universe, but this can be used at high temperature, so I don't have to worry about whether or not it's going to start to burn. And I got chocolate. I got these tortillas. I'm going to try these tortillas. These are corn and wheat tortillas. I don't know if it will be only good for like tacos or if I could also use it as a sandwich wrap. I don't know. But I'm thinking, like, since it's corn and wheat, it wouldn't be too cornish. I could use them a little bit for both. And then I got my barbecue chicken salad. This is going to be my salad for the day. And I love the salad so much. It's like $6. So I'm going to go ahead and eat this right now. And I'll talk to you later. So I realized that my cooler smells bad. And I think there's yuckiness in there. So I'm going to clean that out and then put everything back. So I was putting away the food that I bought today and realized that that broccoli was not good. And unfortunately, I didn't buy any more veggies to cook like a meal like that. So I'm not going to be having that for my dinner tonight. And that's totally fine. I think I'm going to have tuna fish. I haven't had tuna fish in a few days. And I bought some new tortillas. I want to try them out and see if they're actually good with tuna fish. It's like a corn flour tortilla. I don't know if the corn taste is going to be weird with tuna fish. So, but it's a corn flour. I don't know. We'll see. I was buying tortillas at Trader Joe's, which I usually don't do. I usually buy them other places. So I didn't know which one I wanted, you know. And I want a certain size of tortilla where each tortilla is 15 grams because that makes it easier for me to measure out. Like that means it's one carb serving. So it's easier to measure out how many tortillas to eat. You know, a lot of times bigger tortillas have like 22 grams. And then it's like, I can eat two of them. But with the smaller tortillas that are 15 grams, I can eat 3 if I need to. So like it all depends on how much food you make, and sometimes it's like, oh, these don't fit in that many tortillas. And you can always just eat your stuff with a fork, but I mean, I'd rather eat the tortillas I want. Yeah, so it is Sunday afternoon. It's like after 5 o'clock. I did the first live stream today, which went really well. People talked a lot in the chat. I enjoyed it a lot. So I will be doing more live streams in the future. I actually think Sunday is a good day for that. So one of the things I would do on a Sunday, actually I've done for so many years, I don't even know, decades probably, is make up my plan for next week. So I've made up my plan for next week on my little planner. I actually have a bunch of crosses out because I forgot that this is August. So there's 31 days, not 30, but I figured it out. So we're okay. So next week, the number one focus is working on the 10 by 10, sorting through that. It is part of the issue is that is a kind of a psychological thing of how long I can be there working on it in a row. And the other is that it gets really hot in there. So it's better for me to work on it super early in the morning. So what I'm thinking is I will go to Planet Fitness, you know, go to the bathroom, work out, shower, and then go straight over to my storage place and do that. So that way I can get in time. The issue is there's no bathroom there. So I have to kind of make, you know, I'll have to like leave to go to the bathroom somewhere. There is a Target that's very close to there. So once it hits 8 a.m., I can go to the Target. Not the best bathroom because a lot of people are using that bathroom who are unhoused. So it's like, it can get kind of iffy in there. Then I also am going to be working on editing for my other channel, and I would like to actually go hiking at least once, if not twice next week, even if it's just the place that's really close, the local place, so I can be building up my hiking muscles. So other things that are going on this week, it's the first of the month. Right now, today, by the way, is August 27th when I'm recording this. I record like weeks before videos go up. So this is the first of the month is Friday, which will be a day to like pay bills and do all those kind of things, do monthly budgeting and all that kind of stuff. And Tuesday I have a client call for my legal practice. So I'm thinking is Tuesday will be a work day, and I'll also edit videos for that channel on that Tuesday. Tomorrow, Monday, I'm planning to be a project and errand day. I'm gonna go over my 5x10. I need more floss, and I have like multiple bags of floss in there. So I'm gonna reload my floss, and I'm gonna get my Kindle out. I think it's fully charged, and you can only download off of Wi-Fi. So I might have to connect it to my phone, because I don't know if it can connect to the library's Wi-Fi, because the library requires a screen where you accept the terms and conditions. You can't really do that on a Kindle, I don't think. So anyway, I want to get my Kindle and download a whole bunch of books, because I've been reading books on my Kindle app on my phone, but that uses up a lot of battery, and the Kindle, the actual Paperwhite Kindle uses very little battery power. So it's not an efficient use of electricity for me to use my phone for the Kindle. It's better than nothing if I have nothing else to read. So I want to download a whole bunch of stuff to my Kindle, at least from like my own Kindle library. And then I also might check out some books from the library that you can check out books on, have be on your Kindle. I think that would be really nice too. I am thinking I want to start testing the fridge that I already own. But I want to see if I can have it at somebody's house, and if they're out of town right now, so I can't really have it there yet. But I want to try testing it out as a freezer, because I don't think I actually even tested it as a freezer. So I want to test it out of the freezer, see how much electricity it uses just on AC, and then fill it up with bottles of water and let it freeze that water, and see, how much electricity does it take when just on AC, when it is keeping a whole bunch of things frozen. Because I'm hoping that if it's full, everything's already frozen, it actually doesn't take that much electricity to keep something frozen. Then I can also, make some kind of insulation situation for it. And then if that works out okay, then to actually test it in the car. It would be great to be able to have a freezer, and then I could use the frozen bottles of water for my soft cooler that I already have. I'm also going to start brewing my own iced tea, and a cold brew iced tea. And I have everything for it, except for I need to get a mason jar, which I'm just going to either get from somebody who I know here, or I'm going to get it from like Goodwill, something like that. And then, the main thing is just plugging away at the 10x10. I got 3 weeks till I leave. I don't have a good handle on whether or not I'm going to be able to get it done. Part of it depends on whether or not, I get a migraine or sick or any of that stuff. So, you can never know about that. But also, I'm going through right now the hardest stuff, which is keepsakey things. I know that in the back, it will be easy things, because it's like stuff I'm going to 100% get rid of all these things. You know what I mean? The question is how much keepsakey things is there? How much what point will it get to a point where I'm like, oh, this is just entire box is going, entire box of books to Goodwill, entire box of papers to the junk hauler, etc. So I can actually call the junk hauler and have them come. It'd be great to be able to do that in the next couple weeks before I go on my trip, but I don't have a good handle on how long it's going to take me to go through all these things, especially with how hot it gets in there. Like today, I only spent an hour. I got through a whole bunch of boxes, but I only spent an hour. I could have gone back, but I came all the way down here to the park, and it was nice, and I decided to let myself chill, which I think is very justified, because I was very productive this week. So so that's going to be tomorrow, is going to be a whole bunch of little things, and then working on the 10x10. Hey y'all, so one thing that I have that is like this super hardworking person leftoverness is that when I'm in town, I feel like I should be working like all the time. And my current big project is the storage room. Last week, the goal was to move from the 5x5 to the 5x10, which I did on Monday, This week, the goal is to be working on the 10x10. Today, I spent an hour there. I mean, I got a lot of stuff done in that hour, but I like feel guilty that I didn't like spend, I don't know, the whole entire day there or something like that. There's this kind of tendency I have to extremism, you know, to be like, I am 100% working on work, you know, and not doing any chilling out. I mean, at like 7 days a week. And I definitely have a tendency for that. I've had times in my life where I worked, like when I first started my first businesses, where I worked 7 days a week. I would see clients 6 days a week, and I was working every day. And that came from working in a law firm where you were rewarded, I mean, literally with bonuses based upon how many hours you billed. And so there were many times I was working 7-day weeks. And when you leave that kind of a culture in whatever industry it is, because there's many industries that are like that, it's not just law firms, right? Around here in the Silicon Valley is a lot of computer programmers who are working 7 days a week, who are working 14-hour days, all-nighters, etc. I didn't work all-nighters because I actually can't do that. Even when I was 25, I couldn't do that. But yeah, it's like I feel weirdly guilty for not working on that project the whole entire day. So, and not that I didn't do anything that's even work-ish. I mean, I did a live stream, which is, I mean, it doesn't feel like work even remotely, but it is part of a business, you know, this YouTube business. And I did some other kind of back-end YouTube-y things. So for my third channel, I actually made a new thumbnail, and I have a new kind of idea of how I'm going to, I don't know, brand that channel, the look of the thumbnails. I want to always have my thumbnails for each channel have its own distinctive look, not to separate from the other channels, but more just so like that's the vibe of that channel. Yeah, I just realized that I was kind of, I don't know, mentally punishing myself for not working 12 hours a day or something today. It is definitely true that the 10 by, I actually, it's not that I couldn't have spent more time at the 10 by 10. It's that it gets so hot there. It was, I mean, I was there from like, I think it was 9:17 a.m. to 10:17 a.m. And which it's weird that I know exactly that time, but it was already at 10 o'clock, already getting super stuffy in there where I mean, so I am planning to, I did wear my mask there to try to get rid of the dust. I do feel a little bit of a headache. I've taken some Tylenol. I mean, it could be many different things. There also is a bit of air pollution. Air pollution is something that is a problem for me. Is definitely a migraine trigger for me. And once I get the storage units all settled and I don't have to be in any particular place at any particular time, I plan to avoid smoke. But I can't always, right? I can't right now, at least. We'll see how I feel tomorrow. But the plan tomorrow is to go back and spend more time at the 10 by 10. What I think would be the best thing for me to do is try to go multiple times. I have to always leave to go to the bathroom, but if I go there super early in the morning, go there, spend an hour or two, go to the bathroom, come back, spend another couple of hours, another hour or two, and then, see how hot it is. The weather is supposed to shift in, like this week, it's supposed to be 80s, 90s on Wednesday, and then it's supposed to shift to be more like in the 70s. I'm really hoping that will be true. There probably will be another heat wave before true fall happens here, but by then I may be gone. We'll see. We'll see what progress I get. But yeah, I really do have to be careful on not putting too much pressure on myself unnecessarily when I don't need to.